Welcome to the Ben Daniel podcast where we're calling a spade a spade. Sue Bird comes out on the most recent episode of the Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird podcast where she speaks pretty candidly about some of the issues that have been going on within the WNBA, and more specifically in what we're going to talk about today. Sue Bird highlights how Caitlin Clark, the Caitlin Clark new fans, the new fans in the WNBA, they're not the ones responsible for all this toxic racial dialogue that's been surrounding the WNBA this year. No, Sue Bird lets us in on a little secret, a secret that if you've been following the channel, we all know that racism has been going on before Caitlin Clark. I know, folks, it's a crazy thing to wrap your head around that this has been going on before Caitlin Clark. But what Sue Bird fails to realize, and we'll get into it a little bit deeper after her nice soliloquy, is that a lot of the racism within the league has been black people being racist towards their white counterparts. A. B. The false racist narrative that WNBA players placed on the fans because nobody wants to watch their trash product, that is a false construct within their mind. WNBA players were so convinced that people don't want to tune in to watch bad basketball solely because it's a league predominantly made up of black women. Now, that's just not the case, folks. People don't want to watch the WNBA because it's bad basketball. The good players, yeah, there's a handful of good players, but by and large, it is bad basketball. So before we continue on with today's video, let's take a listen to what Sue Bird had to say. Then we're going to double back and address some of these half-truths that Sue Bird decided to speak about.
I'll tell you what we're not going to do.
Tell me.
We're not going to allow that.
Can we just like call a spade a spade?
Wait a second. That's my line, Sue Bird. I got Shanae Ogwumike using Caitlin Clark Kent. I want my cut. I got Sue Bird saying, can we just call a spade a spade? Sue, salute to you. I didn't make up the term. Trust me, I'm not taking credit for that. But I need at least 6%. Actually, 46% of whatever this episode is going to be generating.
We're not going to allow that.
Can we just like call a spade a spade?
Let's hear it.
Racism has been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Sure. This is, and in that way, I do think Caitlin's being used as a pawn. Mm-hmm. Caitlin didn't bring racism to the WNBA. This has been happening. And that, I think, is what's been such a shock for all of us, that other people are surprised by this. Mm-hmm. We've been trying to tell you. And once again, for so long, as a player, I would almost joke. I'd be like, I would have loved to have shut up and dribble. Mm-hmm. In so many ways, I would have loved to have been valued as a basketball player. I would have been loved to have been spoken about just for my play. Mm-hmm. I think everybody in the league can say that.
Lies.
But nobody ever let us do that.
Lies.
So what happened? We started to build a backbone.
Lies.
A little bit of an identity. We understood that in order to push our league forward, we were going to have to combat these things. And then you know what else we learned? A, it feels good to stand up for yourself. Mm-hmm. It feels even better to stand up for others. We started to learn that people were learning from us and able to follow us in a different way. Mm-hmm. And who are we following? Black women. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's such an important part. And I think, again, I get sad when I talk about this a little bit in that
don't be sad.
We're still not talking about basketball.
No.
Don't be sad,
we're still
Sue.
not allowed to be focused on for our basketball play. Mm-hmm. And it's not to say we're not going to continue to combat these things. That'll always exist, I think, in the fabric of our league. Mm-hmm. But we still aren't talking about basketball.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
All right, folks, there you have it. Sue Bird's lovely soliloquy. Racism has been impacting the WNBA for so long. I would have loved to just shut up and dribble, but I can't. We had to grow a backbone. We had to stand up for others. And it felt good to stand up for others. But the worst part of it all, is that the conversation still isn't about basketball. Sue Bird, respectfully, calm down. respectfully, cut it out, please. Please cut it out respectfully. First things first, racism has been impacting the WNBA. Sue, you're right. But not the brainwashed definition that everybody goes to when they think of racism. Racism has been impacting the WNBA because black women within the WNBA hate to see their white counterparts. Black women within the WNBA dislike their white counterparts. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Well, Ben, how come they don't hate Diana Taurasi? Well, Ben, how come they don't hate Breanna Stewart? You think so? What do you think they say behind closed doors, folks? Come on now. What do you think Asia Wilson says behind closed doors? You can't deny greatness. You can't deny skill. So, of course, out in public, oh my God, that's the GOAT. But they're seething inside that they call Diana Taurasi the GOAT and not Candace Parker. They're seething inside that they're calling Diana Taurasi the GOAT and not Cheryl Swoops. They're seething inside that they're calling Diana Taurasi the GOAT and not Maya Moore. That is the racism going on within the WNBA. And then the other instance of racism within the WNBA is the false construct they've put together in their mind that makes them believe in their souls that the only reason why the WNBA has been back page news for the last 25 years is because audiences don't want to watch a bunch of black women play basketball. That, I can assure you, is a lie. Nobody wants to watch a bad product. Nobody wants to watch bad basketball. Nobody wants to watch missed layups. Nobody wants to watch air balls. Folks, there's a handful of decently talented individuals in the WNBA at any given point in time. But I can't say that more than 10% of the league actually has legitimate skill that you would sit down and watch and be, wow, that's impressive. That's not the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is the product sucks. Nobody wants to watch a product that sucks. Nobody wants to watch a product, going to your next point, that these women refuse to just shut up and dribble. They refuse to. So you saying you'd love to shut up and dribble, that's not true. That's not true at all. Nobody forced your hand to say, oh, I need to speak out, and maybe then I'll get eyeballs. We weren't valued as basketball players. We weren't respected as players, so now I need to speak out. No. You were valued as a basketball player, Sue Bird. Trust me, you were. Candace Parker, she was valued as a basketball player. The good basketball players were valued and respected as basketball players. The delusion that's going on is that these women really think that a majority of these players are good. They're not good. They're not good. One more time. They're not good. And saying that, newsflash, isn't racist. It's, to quote Sue Bird, it's calling a spade a spade. No one wants to watch trash basketball. No one wants to watch a bad product. It's not entertaining. If there were 10 Sue Birds on the court at any given time, black, white, it doesn't matter, people would watch. If there were 10 Candace Parkers on the court at any given time, black, white, it doesn't matter, people would watch. If there were 10 Maya Moores, 10 Kayla Clarks, 10 Diana Taurasis, people would watch at any given time. Instead, it's one Diana Taurasi surrounded by 9 bums. And that is the fact of the matter. So don't say that a majority of these players weren't valued as basketball players, because they're not basketball players. Because they're not good. I'm not going to act like some random person at the YMCA needs to get overtly. Wait, why aren't you watching this player at the YMCA? They're a good basketball player. No, they're not. They're at the Y. By and large, the players within the WNBA aren't that good. They've never been. That's why nobody has ever watched. That's the truth. And you say you want to shut up and dribble. What happened when shut up and dribble took the limelight? When that woman, Laura Ingraham, said to LeBron, shut up and dribble. What happened? Oh my God! How dare you say that? How dare you say shut up and dribble? That's racist. You can't do that. That's a person. And what happened? LeBron put out a documentary called Shut Up and Dribble, a look at the changing role of athletes in the fraught cultural and political environment through the lens of the WNBA, so they understand shut up and dribble. Stop being an activist. Play your game. Stop trying to get involved in politics. Play your game. She said they had to grow a backbone. A backbone for what? For what? How can you guys have a backbone in a league that nobody talked about the WNBA from 2008 to 2023? That's a fact. So a backbone for the Twitter trolls, a backbone for the Reddit pages, a backbone for all the forums that people with eggs as profile pictures are talking trash. A backbone for what? A backbone for sports analysts saying, yeah, we don't want to cover that. A backbone for people like Skip saying, yeah, we don't want to talk. A backbone for what? If nobody is talking about you, a backbone for what? Nobody is saying anything about the WNBA prior to these last few years. Nobody's saying anything good. Nobody's saying anything bad. Nobody is talking about the W. So again, a backbone for what? A backbone because you had to, quote, stand up for others? And it feels good to stand up for others. Well, who stands up for you, Sue Bird? Who stands up for Caitlin Clark, Sue Bird? Who stands up for Marina Mabry, Sue Bird? Who stands up for Sabrina Ionescu, Sue Bird? Who stands up for Kelsey Plum, Sue Bird? Who stands up for those players? Who stands up for those players? How come they need to stand up for a group of individuals who won't stand up for them? One more time. How come they need to stand up for a group of individuals who won't stand up for them? Folks, if a random person I know is going to get into a fight, why would I stand up for that person if they wouldn't stand up for me had the roles been reversed? They could care less about me. They only care about me if I am using my abilities to defend them. If I say, no, I'm going to sit this one out, then it's go screw yourself. We don't need you. Then it's here's a 4-inch fingernail in the eye. Then it's Asia Wilson telling Kelsey Plum, I hope you know you only are in the spot because you're white, right? This league is a disaster. This league is a complete and utter disaster. How come everybody needs to stand up for somebody? Nobody's standing up for Draymond Green. He's standing on his own 2 feet. No one's standing up for LeBron. He's standing on his own 2 feet. His teammates might, but on the other team, they tried to corner Anthony Edwards into saying, hey, Anthony, what did you learn from LeBron? What did you learn from Steph? And he says, KD. Don't try to make me say something I don't want to say. Don't try to make me stand up for something I don't need to stand up for. What are you talking about? Again, folks, nobody was talking about this league. Let me read it. Nobody was talking about this league. So what are we standing up for? Standing up because people in the media were giving you backlash during a certain period of time to where, well, you said you want to shut up and dribble. However, everything you guys do on the basketball court lets me know you don't want this to be focused on basketball. Even the players don't want the main conversation to be about basketball. Because if they did, Caitlin Clark would have a lot brighter light. And can you imagine a brighter light than she already has if this was just about basketball? Sabrina Ionescu would have a brighter light than she already has if this was just about basketball. But it's not. It's about being an activist. It is an activist league. So much so that they put another documentary about the WNBA. The WNBA's journey from underestimation to activism. Fighting for equal rights, fair compensation, and social justice, ultimately impacting U.S. politics. They don't want this to be about basketball. The players within the WNBA don't even want this to be about basketball. They want it to be about activism. And until they get over that, the main thing is always going to be about activism. This is a league that they wear vote shirts on. This is a league where they don't even come out for the Pledge of Allegiance. Come on. These teams don't even come out for the Pledge of Allegiance, and you expect me to think that you guys just want this to be about basketball? Cut the nonsense. Cut the BS. Cut the garbage. During COVID, we saw all the t-shirts all of these different players are wearing from the WNBA to the NBA. It stopped being about basketball, and now it's about using your platform. Using your voice. Spare me the lies, folks. Spare me the absolute lies. I am tired of it. And I'll double back on what Sue Bird said. Caitlin Clark's being used as a pawn. I don't think that's true. I think they're using Caitlin Clark as a Trojan horse. That's the analogy I would make. A Trojan horse. We're going to sneak on this Trojan horse, and then when we get where we want to get, then we'll funnel out. It's okay, Sue Bird. I'll help you out on your analogies. I'm here for you. But how is she being used as a pawn or Trojan horse if this has been happening before WNBA? So realistically, she's only being used as a scapegoat. She's being used as a scapegoat. When you don't want to look in the direction of where the issues really are surfacing from, you point out a scapegoat and you point the finger in that direction. More lies within the WNBA. More brainwashed insanity within the WNBA. A few trolls doesn't mean the WNBA has a racism problem. Hate to cut it to you. But black players avidly targeting, disrespecting, going against, diminishing white players, their white counterparts? Yes, folks, that's what that is. Players within the league making it a thing in their mind that folks and fans aren't watching because they're black? We're not watching because the shit sucks. Shut up and you wish you can shut up and dribble? That is a huge lie. None of these players wish they can just shut up and dribble because, newsflash, there's a thing called free will. Shut up and dribble if that's all you want to do. It seems like one player wants to shut up and dribble and she's getting fucking targeted every damn game. One player wants to shut up and dribble and she's getting accused of not using her white privilege in the right way. Shut up and dribble. My ass. All you want to do is shut up and dribble. All you guys want to do is act like you're being victimized when you're really not. And then point fingers in a certain direction and say, yeah, let's attack that group. Let's go after them. Let me not take accountability for everybody else in the league being trash. Sue Bird, you were good, but the rest of the players, by and large, were hot trash. So instead of saying that, you need to say, oh, I need to stand up for them. I need to stick up for them. They're not being respected as ball players. No, they suck. Point blank, period. A backbone to go against people that aren't talking about you. What? Come again? It's a Bandana Podcast. We're calling a spade a spade. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Appreciate all the support. Please like and subscribe. I would appreciate that greatly. As always, we will see you either later today, if the ratings do come out, or I will see you first thing tomorrow morning. Have a good day.